And now, Casey Muckley, AP Music Theory teacher at Colleyville Heritage High School, will introduce Justin Yen.
First, I'd like to echo my colleagues and say that I've played about this much into Justin's actual amazingness. And so I just want to recognize his family and sister that are here and all the things that they've done for him. Justin Yan is an excellent student at Colleyville Heritage High School. Justin is a National AP Scholar, a Principal Scholar, a National Merit Finalist, an accomplished swimmer, and has scored a 5 on every AP exam he has taken so far. He is currently set to graduate as the salutatorian of his senior class of 551 students. I had the privilege of having Justin in my AP Music Theory class during his sophomore year, so it's been a little while. At that time, I was considering restricting AP Music Theory to only juniors and seniors, but Justin was one of the sophomores that truly impressed me and caused me to change my mind. His energetic spirit, insightful questions, and diligent work ethic allowed him to achieve more than most of my upperclassmen. His success transferred to his AP exam, where he scored a 5 on all parts of the exam, which is usually really difficult to accomplish. Not only was Justin a dedicated student in my class, but his success is also attributed to his strong piano background. Justin has studied piano for 12 years, practicing the last 7 years under the tutelage of Professor John Owings, the piano division chair for Texas Christian University. At the end of the year, I have my students perform for each other in a recital, and that's where we got to see Justin show off his masterful talent and musicality. It was beautiful. Justin's other teachers are also impressed by his achievements and attitude in their classes, though they weren't able to be here with us today. His GT English teacher, Judy Houston, described him as high-achieving, industrious, and self-motivated. She went on to talk about his passion for the subject matter and how he is well-liked by his peers. His debate coach, Dave Houston, told me all about Justin's love of learning. He said, "Most kids who have Justin's grade point are all about the grade. Justin doesn't do that. He took debate because he thought it would help him with his critical thinking skills. He always asks really intelligent questions. He does things so that he can learn, not just because he's going to get a good grade out of it. I think that's one of the things that really separates him from other students." Truly, there is much more to Justin Yan than what I can fit in this brief introduction. He is an outstanding young man, one of the best students of my 8-year career. He has worked hard for all of his achievements, and I am thrilled to see him rewarded by this generous scholarship. It is with great honor and pride that I get to introduce to you Justin Yan.
Thank you, Mrs. Muckley. Out of all of the AP classes that I've taken, Mrs. Muckley's AP Music Theory class has been one of the most enriching classes of my high school career. One day might be a communal struggle to dictate melodies and harmonies as they were played, an eye-opening, generously funded trip to the TCU School of Music, or a hilarious attempt by instrumentalists to sight sing. Mrs. Muckley built up my relationship with music that started 18 years ago. Thank you, Mom, for listening to Chopin's Nocturnes while I was still a bundle of cells. He's still my favorite composer. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for encouraging me and then supporting me to study piano with my current piano teacher, Mr. John Owings, who has really changed my life. Studying piano with Mr. Owings has taught me that successfully interpreting music relies on 3 things: paying attention to detail, never losing sight of the big picture, and always asking, why? Each note and rest, like a brushstroke in painting, is always drawn to serve a purpose, perhaps to continue a sweeping melodic line, to emphasize a triumphant conclusion, or to create a wistful harmony. Asking why the composer wrote the notes that they did in the specific order with the specific dynamics and rhythm provides a snapshot of his intentions. And being able to communicate these intentions to an audience so that they are swept by the music's emotional current is what gives me joy as a performer. Even though I plan to study computer science at Princeton University this fall, I believe that the lessons music has taught me are invaluable in any field. For instance, just last summer, I conducted research at Texas Tech University, where I spent my days observing a simulated molecule zoom across the screen and analyzing how it fragmented. Each atom was like a note, interacting with the atoms around it to achieve a purpose, the formation of new product molecules. But why did specific interactions seem to trigger spontaneous bond dissociation? Why does this experiment help us understand proteins? Why can't oxygen be more proactive and less reactive? Like how a musician must ask why to understand his music, a scientist must ask why to understand the natural world. Music, thus, has allowed me to pursue my passions at a deeper level. I plan to continue studying piano and plan to become involved in a community outreach program to expose more people to classical music. My experiences with the young mathletes at the local middle school, where I run weekly math workshops, remind me that the best use of a personal skill is to promote the lives of others with it. I see myself working in Princeton's Sound Lab to study the properties of sound and music with computers. Finally, I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. O'Donnell, the Scholarship Committee, and the Communities Foundation of Texas for embodying this principle. I really appreciate them for seeing the immense value in arts education and for providing a model of generosity to aspire to. Thank you.